Alright fight fans, this weekend, in the heart of Brazil, two warriors from opposite ends of the world will meet under the bright lights of the octagon. Their journeys, forged through poverty, pain, and perseverance, have collided in a main event that will redefine their legacies. In one corner, a former champion fighting to reclaim his throne. In the other, a relentless contender, seizing his moment on enemy soil. This is the story of Charles Oliveira and Mateusz Gamrot, a tale of resilience, ambition, and the unforgiving pursuit of greatness. The story of Charles Oliveira is one of relentless defiance. He was born into the Vicente da Carvalho favela in São Paulo and faced immense hardship from a young age. He was diagnosed with rheumatic fever at age 7 and told he might never walk again. He defied that prognosis and showed that his fighting spirit was unbreakable. His salvation was a local jiu-jitsu gym. The raw talent he displayed was nothing short of prodigious. He became the São Paulo champion after just 2 months of training, the first of many accolades and medals he would collect in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, laying the foundation for his legendary ground game. His path to the UFC lightweight title was the longest and most arduous in history, requiring 27 fights within the promotion before he finally reached the summit. He was signed to the UFC when he was only 21. His early UFC career was a turbulent mix of spectacular finishes and frustrating setbacks. He battled inconsistency, weight misses, and the damaging label of a quitter. He faced years of being counted out in his MMA career. Yet, he continually overcame the doubts, learning his trade in the octagon. His move to lightweight ignited a historic run, silencing his detractors with a stunning win streak over elite opponents like Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson, culminating in an iconic title victory over Michael Chandler. He solidified his reign with wins over Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, establishing himself as one of the most dangerous finishers the sport has ever seen, holding the UFC records for most submissions and most finishes. Now, coming off a knockout loss just a few months ago, the 35-year-old legend is not looking for an easy night. He was originally set to face Rafael Fiziev, but when Fiziev withdrew, Oliveira remained, headlining this card in his home country. For Oliveira, this is about redemption, proving that the fire that lifted him from poverty and carried him to a championship still burns. But standing across the octagon is a man whose journey was built not in the sun-baked favelas of Brazil, but on the disciplined wrestling mats of Poland. Mateusz Gamrot is the epitome of a modern European mixed martial artist, a man feared for his grinding prowess, a wrestler since the age of 10. Gamrot's entire foundation is built on relentless pressure. He competed in over 300 wrestling matches, winning national and international championships that honed his skills to a razor's edge. This world-class base allowed him to dominate the European MMA scene, becoming a rare two-division champion in Poland's premier KSW promotion. He first won the KSW lightweight title, and then set a record by defending it 4 times. In 2018, he moved down and captured the featherweight title, cementing his status as the organization's first ever simultaneous double champion. He entered the UFC with an undefeated record, but his debut was a setback. His response, however, defined him. Gamrot stormed back with 3 straight finishes, showcasing a killer instinct. To match his elite grappling and earning performance bonuses in each, he has built a reputation as a fighter so tactically tough and grinding that he is often someone other contenders prefer not to call out. Stepping in on late notice to replace the injured Rafael Fiziev, he now faces the biggest name of his career in his opponent's backyard. For Gamrot, this is more than a fight. It is his gateway to the elite. So how do these two fighters match up? Let's look at their strengths and weaknesses. The stylistic matchup is a purist's dream. A classic grappler versus grappler clash, where the central question is, whose discipline will prevail? The numbers tell a compelling story. Gamrot's main weapon is a wrestling attack that is both frequent and overwhelming, averaging a staggering 5.33 takedowns every 15 minutes. He is a master of control, strength, and conditioning, and he has boasted that he is not afraid to roll with Oliveira on the ground. He will look to close the distance, drain Oliveira's energy, and impose his will. But for Charles Oliveira, that very canvas is his kingdom. He is a submission savant, averaging a staggering 2.6 submission attempts every 15 minutes. The great danger for Gamrot is that every takedown attempt is a potential trap. The critical factor will be Oliveira's takedown defense, which sits at 56%. His ability to stuff these attempts, force a stand-up battle, and hurt Gamrot on the feet could very well decide the fight. This is the essence of the matchup. Can Gamrot maintain his heavy top control without falling into the most dangerous guard in UFC history. Can Oliveira defend the takedown and create the space he needs to unleash his fight-ending submissions or striking? So the stakes this weekend could not be clearer. For Charles Oliveira, this is about legacy. A win re-establishes him as a top contender and proves that at this stage of his career, he remains a legitimate threat for the title. A loss would be a major setback in his quest for another championship run. For Mateusz Gamrot, this is about validation. A victory over a legend like Oliveira in this hostile setting is the key that unlocks the top 5. It would be the signature win he needs to finally break into the division's absolute elite and demand a title eliminator bout. Two paths forged over a lifetime have converged right here. This weekend, we learn which warrior's journey takes the next decisive step forward. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.